You ever have one of those days where before you even know it, your whole world flips upside down, and not in a fun, hey, maybe something good will come out of this way? That's exactly where I found myself. Hands shaking, heart racing, being marched through O'Hare by airport security. Just 24 hours earlier, I've been the lead flight attendant on what was supposed to be a regular, easy run to Boston. 15 years of spotless service, down the drain because of one first-class passenger DR. Maya Washingtona, name I'll never forget. Not because she was difficult, but because of who she turned out to be and how I let my own blind spots set this whole mess in motion. Yeah, that happened. Let me back up a sec, because you're not going to believe how deep this story goes. It all started on a Wednesday, just past noon. O'Hare was its usual brand of chaos, but in first class, everything's supposed to be calm. DR. Maya Washington showed up at the gate, burgundy Louboutin heels, navy suit sharp as a knife, the kind of presence you feel before you even spot her. But if you'd asked me then, I would have told you yet another diversity hire with a fancy title, maybe bought her way up, right? Stupid, I know. Real stupid. She boarded with the confidence of someone who's had to fight for every inch, someone who's used to walking into rooms where folks expect her to be lost, not in charge. The moment she stepped on, I saw those glances from the other crew, Lisa, my colleague, nudging me like, you sure she's in the right cabin? I laugh along, not thinking. That laugh cost me my job, my reputation, and nearly torched a company I had nothing to do with. You know what I mean? Sometimes the joke's on you, but you're too blind to see it. From the get-go, the service was, well, let's call it selective. I helped every suit and tie, made small talk with a silver-haired regular who flies us weekly, poured champagne for the ones who barely glanced at me. But when Washington asked for help with her bag, I brushed her off, told her to wait. Saw her lips tighten, but she kept it together. Some folks know how to weather a storm without showing it. She waited 5, maybe 10 minutes until I finally made it over, handling her luggage like it was a burden, not a service. I'll admit it, the bias was showing, even if I'd have sworn otherwise. The rest of the flight, things kept unraveling. When it came time for meal service, everyone got the red carpet treatment, champagne, real silverware, fancy descriptions about the menu, you name it. But for her, chicken or fish, that's all I managed. She tried to keep her dignity, but I could see the patience wearing thin. Then I serve her this chicken, half-cooked, almost raw, didn't even realize how bad it looked until she flagged me down. Excuse me, this seems undercooked, she said, still polite, still holding it together. I brushed her off with some line about premium preparation, told her the salmon was gone. Maybe she'd like something from economy instead. Lisa jumped in, dripping with that fake smile, all, maybe you're not used to gourmet cuisine. Like we were the gatekeepers of taste. And right then, the energy in the cabin changed. Some folks looked away. Others, like the older gentleman across the aisle, William Thornton, I'd learn later, watched, his face tight with concern. The businessman behind her smirked, loving the drama. DR. Washington snapped a photo of the chicken, quietly documented my name badge, Lisa's too. That should have tipped me off that she wasn't just going to swallow what we dished out, literally or otherwise. She disappeared to the lavatory, and while Lisa and I joked about her being a diversity hire, not earning her place, how these people always find something to complain about, didn't think twice about who might be listening. But DR. Washington was. Turns out, she recorded the whole thing, and when she emerged, you could tell something had shifted. She was done playing nice. Then, things went from bad to worse. Her seatmate, a guy named Stephen Reynolds, chimed in, acting all concerned about her meal, then accidentally spilled water on her merger documents. She clocked him, immediately worked for Medicorp, Phoenix Medical's top competitor. The whole thing clicked. This wasn't just lousy service. This was sabotage. I'd been played, and didn't even see it until it was too late. Maya kept her cool, started documenting every interaction, every microaggression. Meanwhile, Reynolds leaned in, whispered threats about protesters and anonymous tips waiting for her in Boston, how any complaint she made about racism would be weaponized against her. The crew, myself included, were just pawns in a much bigger game. But Maya wasn't alone. That older guy across the aisle, Thornton, quietly slid her a note was a retired civil rights attorney, recording everything. I'll testify, he promised. Witnesses started siding with her. Other passengers picked up on what was happening. Lisa and I exchanged glances, the confidence draining as we realized the tide was turning. When Captain Harrison, who, it turns out, had been in on it too, announced we'd be diverting to Cleveland due to a disruptive passenger, it was obvious who he meant. But Maya stood up, calm as can be, called out the conspiracy right there in front of everyone. My name is Dr. Maya Washington. Tomorrow, I'm scheduled to finalize a merger that would make life-saving cardiac devices affordable for millions. Medicorp, represented by the man beside me, stands to lose billions if I succeed. Every action on this flight has been orchestrated to stop me. You ever see a whole room freeze? Passengers who'd watched quietly all flight suddenly found their voices. That's not true, they shouted at us. She's been nothing but polite. Thornton called out, I have 17 separate incidents documented. This is criminal conspiracy. The crew panicked. And then Maya, in a move I'll never forget, called the CEO of the airline, put him on speaker. Robert, we're being diverted on false pretenses. The crew is sabotaging me at the request of a competitor. The color drained from Rebecca's face, the lead attendant. Within minutes, the captain was ordered to resume the flight to Boston. When we landed, the whole world was watching. News vans, medical teams, airline executives. The CEO was waiting personally. Passengers gave statements. Social media blew up with flying while black. Our stock dropped 3%. I realized, too late, that every offhand comment, every snide look, every shortcut taken with Maya's service had been witnessed, recorded, and broadcast for all to see. My own career, and those of my colleagues, ended on that tarmac. But that wasn't the end. Over the next few weeks, as investigations unfolded, it turned out that Reynolds, Medicorp's executive, actually owned the apartment complex where Lisa, and Rebecca lived. We were offered favors, better routes, nothing explicit, but enough to sway us. I let myself believe I was just doing my job, but in reality, I became part of something much uglier. Corporate sabotage dressed up as casual discrimination. And Maya? She didn't just survive. She won. The merger went through. Phoenix Medical acquired the airline. Affordable cardiac devices rolled out to hospitals across the country, saving lives. The apartment complex we lived in, she converted it to affordable housing for healthcare workers, never evicted us, not even after everything we'd done. I sent her a letter, no lawyers. No excuses, just an apology. She invited me in, not to punish me, but to ask how my experience could help create better anti-bias training, prevent the next crew from falling into the same traps. I took the job. It's not redemption yet, but it's a start. She told me, justice isn't about revenge, it's about breaking the cycle. Yeah, I still remember that. So what did I learn? Sometimes the real disruption isn't one loud voice in a cabin, but the quiet refusal to accept mistreatment, the patience to document and expose injustice, the willingness to turn a moment of humiliation into a catalyst for change. That's real strength. Now, I gotta ask, have you ever watched someone's attitude flip when they realized who they were really dealing with? Ever seen injustice unravel because one person refused to back down? If you believe justice matters even when nobody's watching, drop your story in the comments, hit like, and subscribe. We need these conversations. Sometimes it takes one bad flight to change everything.